out here on the Bali coast of Maui. Today we are going to be hiking the Hanakapiai waterfall trail along the coast. For a full guide on this hike, you can check the link in the description below. So to get you up to speed here, we took the shuttle, which requires a reservation, from just outside of Hanalei over to the trailhead here. Here is the start of the trail. This hike should be just about 8 miles with 2,400 feet of gain. You do have to cross several streams, and as you can tell by the conditions we'll show you today, it's been quite wet and muddy here, so definitely have good footwear for those kind of hiking conditions as well. As you get to the first beach here, but just about 2 miles in, you'll have a creek crossing, and that'll kind of dictate how the stream crossings are going to be for the rest of the day. So they tell you if it's brown water, basically turn around, don't go in it. And if it's past like quad deep as well, don't do that. Here's a look at the 2 Mile beach, just right down in there. Really beautiful scene with the mist. So what we're going to do next is kind of work our way up towards the waterfall. Just about 2 miles in here, you got Hanakapiai Beach. Be very careful when going down here. It's super choppy and they don't recommend swimming here, so I'll show you just a little bit before we head up to the falls. Overall thoughts on this beach: it's cool. I probably personally wouldn't make this a destination for my hike. I would much rather add on the waterfall, but let's not be completely jaded here. Like, it's a very beautiful spot. It's clearly a little bit overcast and raining, but I just think for 4 miles, like, if you're here for beaches, maybe just chill at the beaches kind of towards town at the start of the park versus coming all the way down to this one in particular. Here we go. Up this way. So that was the first stream crossing. The other two that I showed you before were just kind of like trickles, where this was an actual stream. But like, your feet are definitely going to get wet. Your feet are definitely probably going to get a little muddy. And that's kind of the adventure of this hike. Like, you want to have fun, but you also are in nature in one of the wettest places on the planet. So keeping your feet dry is just not realistic. All right, so here's the start of the Hanakapiai Falls trail. As the sign says, 2 miles from here. And those 2 miles are gonna be mostly uphill with several more creek/stream crossings along the way before you get to the falls. Second creek crossing here, we're gonna get after it. Besides very careful foot placement, the one thing I would highly recommend as you're crossing these streams, creeks, however you want to word them, is to kind of slide your foot every time you step. Otherwise, it can be easy if you just take a full plunge step to hit a slippery rock, to twist your ankle the wrong way, and just have bad things potentially happen. So just kind of like gingerly slide your foot into the water. I believe this is your final crossing here with the waterfall just out of view right there. Here we are at the falls. What a beautiful, beautiful place. Just leaving the falls now. If you're new to my channel, I don't usually show the whole way out, but in this case I wanted to give a couple of helpful tips before I wrapped up this video. So thanks for hanging around if you have watched to this point. Number one, footwear. So I'll link what I'm using in the description below. I'm wearing La Sportiva Cyclones. They have been my go-to here in Kauai. They handle mud and water and river crossings like an absolute champ. And because I can tighten them, they're basically double as kind of like a water shoe with the mesh material. Jackie is wearing Speed Goats, and I think she would say they're okay, but she would prefer a little bit more traction on her feet. The other thing, when we talk about shuttle and parking and reservations and all that stuff, I'll have that in the full guide, which is linked in the description below. It goes to my website. I would say we are pretty fast hikers. Our reservation was for 11:30. We got here right around 11. They let us in. It didn't seem to be a problem. If you have a later in the day reservation, then show up as early as you think you need to, and you'll probably get lucky. As long as the shuttle is not full, they'll let you ride standby. The other thing would be kind of timing of this all. So when you check in, they check your permit and they make sure that you paid your park entry fee. And by doing that, they will tell you kind of information about the day. They'll tell you about the muddy water, the crossing, blah, 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 blah. But they'll also tell you that you should be turning around at the waterfall at 2:30. We turned around here right around 2:15, 2:20, and we should be fine. Keep in mind that if you miss your last shuttle, it's not gonna be a fun time for you. I genuinely don't know what would happen, and I don't think you wanna find out either. We parked at the park and ride and took the shuttle in. You can get parking passes at the park itself, but those sell out very quickly, so if you get lucky enough, great, but they are much cheaper than the shuttle as well. Finally, I would just say that this hike is an absolute gem. I am not usually a big crowd guy, and I would say in general that like we got pretty lucky with crowds. We're in here in the off season. The waterfall was clearly ripping. Even if there are crowds on this one, the only reason that they would kind of take away from the experience would be the bottlenecking on the trail, which can be a problem if you get stuck behind people who have poor trail etiquette, or you just can't get by them because it's kind of a constant stream of people. That could really slow you down and affect your day. We've done quite a bit of hiking here on our trip to Kauai this time, and we've been to Maui as well, and I would say of all the hikes we've done, this is without a doubt the best one. Talking quickly about swimming at the base of the falls, I would highly, highly recommend it. It's really cool. If you skirt around one of the sides to go under it, it's a little bit easier. If you come into the water from the front, just be super careful for like banging your knees and shins and stuff, because the water goes from like not deep enough to even stand in to very deep pretty quickly, so especially as you're getting out. But highly recommend swimming in there, quite refreshing and just a badass experience when you look above you and have a massive waterfall spraying down. About back at the trailhead now. I'm gonna leave the elevation gain in the full guide, but from a mileage perspective, we had just about 8.5, and that includes a little bit of extra walking because they drop you off at the overflow lot. But overall, like I said, 5-star hike. In terms of gear, a dry bag would be good, but I'll link everything that we used here in the description of the video. If you're new to my channel, I do virtual trail guides based in the mainland of Colorado, but have a bunch of stuff from Kauai here, have a bunch of stuff from Maui, and pretty much everywhere over the United States. So check out the channel, check out my playlist if there's somewhere you're traveling to and want to check out hikes there. If you're looking for hike recommendations, want me to help you plan a trip, check out my Patreon for as low as a cup of coffee a day, not even in some cases. You can help support the channel and also get some information on how to make your trip much better. To not miss out on any future content, hit the subscribe button. If this video was at all helpful, entertaining, or you just like seeing us covered in mud, throw me a like. It helps show more people this hike, makes it more accessible, and makes it more safe for everybody in the future. On behalf of a very muddy Jackie and myself, thank you so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you guys on the next venture.